growing up in Poughkeepsie. Tell us a little bit about that.
Uh, Growing up because it was during segregation.
So there was a black side of town,
Well,
railroad tracks.
there was a black side of town, and there's a if you had enough money, you could move into a neighborhood that was not totally black or white. But it was difficult times, and remember things like I was my kindergarten class. It's in my book. Um, that my first day in school, kindergarten, that everybody was asked to stand up and say their name, and I said I was nervous. I said Bill, and the teacher said, "No, your last name too." I said, "Okay, Duke." And during lunch, a table of white children sitting next to me, I was by myself, um, mocked what the teacher had done. And one of the kids played me, and one played the teacher and said, "What's your name?" And the white boy said, "Bill." And he said, "What's your last name?" And the other boy said, "Nigga." And so I remember another incident when my sister and I were walking from church one day on Sunday and going home, and these bikers, white bikers, were in the garage, and they yelled across the street, "Hey, you little nigga, stop." And my father and mother had told me whenever confronted, just run. And so we ran, and they caught up with us. And I told my sister to keep running, and she wouldn't. And they held me down and beat me and kicked me and bloodied my face, etc. And said, "The next time we tell you to stop, nigga, stop." And after that was over, we ran back to my home where my mother was. And my father came home and saw me beaten. And went upstairs and got his gun, put us in the car, and drove back to the garage and asked the man, he said, "Where are they?" He said, "They went up Main Street." And my father rode up and down Main Street for like at least 45 minutes. And he asked us, "Where are they?" And whether we saw them or not, we would not tell my father because he would have killed them and he would have gone to jail the rest of his life. So it was that kind of experience. It wasn't all bad, but during those days, you face certain challenges.
How did that impact your career and catapult you into the arts? Where you thrived.
Well, to be honest with you, until my senior year in high school, I was a racist. I know I disagree with Spike. Black people can be racist too, I think. I know. And, you know,
Wait. So you could prevent somebody from a job or from an opportunity, or you just thought white people were horrible and you hated them?
I hated them
Okay.
because of my experiences.
Right, but it was causing. I'm not absolving you. You call yourself a racist, but I'm just like, when we talk about racism in this country, it's more systemic and it's more institutional. There are people that have prejudices and they have definitely some real feelings about people. I was just having lunch with a gentleman who had an experience with a black woman, and I said, don't let that shape. And he was a white gentleman. Don't let that shape your feelings about all black women, because that's one black woman, and we don't all behave that way. But I can understand, after having what happened to you and your sister and in your experience, what you would think most white people or all white people are like that. I don't think that makes you a racist, but I could be wrong.
Well, let's say that let's say I did not like white people.
Fair.
I'll put it that way. Is that fair?
In light of that, fair, valid.
Yes.
Very fair.
So I used to be very introverted, and I used to write a journal. And my English teacher, Miss Walker, told me to stop writing my journal in her class. And I kept doing it. And one of the last days of that session, she said, "Give me the journal." And she took my journal, and I hated her for it. The next semester, the last day of class, and I used to just hate her every time, she said, "Duke, stay here." So she said, "What do you want, Miss Walker?" And she went in her desk and brought out 2 books. One was my journal, and one was the National Poetry Contest. And she had submitted my poems into the contest, and I won a prize.
Wow.
And my year at Dutchess Community College, Dr. Hall, who was the the head, the president of Dutchess Community College in Poughkeepsie. Very strict and stern, and he was a naval officer, and no one really liked him. And so I got a scholarship to Boston University. I couldn't pay my room and board, so I came back to Poughkeepsie, and I said, well, I'm going to stay here for a year and then go back after I make some money. And so I went to Dutchess to see some friends of mine, and Dr. Hall was in the hallway, and he said, hey, Bill, come here for a second. Bring him to his office, and a really tall, pale white gentleman, and I said, what do you want, Dr. Hall? He said, I hear you're thinking about, I heard you're thinking about coming back to Poughkeepsie and staying. I said, yeah, I got to raise some money. He said, stop. He reaches into his vest pocket and pulls out an envelope. And I said, what is this? He said, open it. I opened it. It was a check that paid for my 3 years of room and board.
Wow.
So that confused me. See, because I did not like white folks, but these two white folks cared enough about me as a human being that had faith in me and are responsible for my education.
Wow.